Right now on Morning News Now, up in smoke, a suffocating layer of haze from those widespread Canadian wildfires, making it tougher to breathe for folks in some major cities like here in New York. It's even wreaking havoc on travelers in Boston, delaying flights due to low visibility. Mother Nature also bringing the heat to millions across the South as devastating wildfires out west torch thousands of acres of land. We are covering it all in just a bit. Also this morning, wanted. Dozens of Texas Democratic legislators slapped with warrants for their arrest after fleeing the state over the weekend. We're protesting Republican-led efforts to redraw congressional maps there, a controversial move that could hand the GOP a hefty advantage in next year's midterms. Well, now the state's Governor Greg Abbott is threatening to remove the MIA reps from office. But is the law really on the Republican side here? Plus, ChatGPT's sharper focus on mental health. We'll dig into why OpenAI is looking to stop enabling some of its users' most unhealthy behaviors and how you might be able to use the popular platform a little more mindfully. And later in the hour, we are making waves with a young trailblazer behind a brand new startup that's setting Gen Z up for success, pushing to help women win at work, especially in that early career phase. So important.
Very important to get that experience. And good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Thanks for starting your day with us. We are going to begin this hour with that severe weather that's impacting much of the country. This is from coast to coast. Out west, the Dragon Bravo fire, which has been burning north of the Grand Canyon for a month now, it's charred more than 116,000 acres, making it the 8th largest wildfire in Arizona history. And the smoke from that fire, as well as ones that are burning in California and then also up in Canada, it's clouding skies throughout the Midwest and East Coast. The visibility is so bad at times and in some places that Boston Logan International Airport was forced to delay flights for up to an hour yesterday.
The fires aren't the only concern this morning. A heat wave is baking the Southwest and could break several record high temperatures. Even nightfall doesn't bring relief, with the mercury hovering around triple digits in some places after the sun sets. On the other side of the country, in the southeast, heavy rains and flash floods are the biggest concern. A tropical disturbance is churning off the coast of northeast Florida. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock is following it all and has the latest from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Joe, Savannah, good morning. Many cities across the country right now, and the people living in them are waking up under hazier skies than normal. That's true for this one as well. The second that you step outside the door, you can really see and smell that smoke. You look over my shoulder right now. It's not that it's overcast right now. That's the Manhattan skyline. You're seeing this just film of haze that's out there. So anything that's above an AQI or air quality index of above 100 generally will prompt an alert. That was the case yesterday in New York. The prognostication for today is somewhere in the range of 110 for the New York City metro area. Same thing for the Hudson River Valley and central parts of New York State as well. Some of the worst air quality anywhere in the country as of right now. Burlington, Vermont is almost at 160. Similar readings and forecasts for cities like Cleveland, Grand Rapids, parts of California as well, cities that are really close to those fires that are burning in San Bernardino County and certainly Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo, where some 70,000 plus acres have been torn up there in the central part of California, and that continues as well. You know, what does that all mean? So pulmonologists say that any exposure above 100, really between 100 and 200 AQI, means you're taking in between a quarter and a half a pack of cigarettes every single time you're exposed to that. Now, obviously, for folks who have underlying conditions like asthma or heart disease, it can be particularly aggravating. So you have more than a dozen states right now across the country that have some form of an air quality alert. All of Michigan yesterday had that in effect. We'll be watching again today. The expectation is that some of that smoke is going to be clearing out by Wednesday. But the reality is, with changing conditions right now, there's so much potential fluctuation with patterns that the smoke could come right back again. So we're waiting for some relief. I'll also add a couple of notes on these fires. Out in California, you're now at almost 230,000 acres burned this year. That's about 100,000 more, according to the LA Times, than what you would typically see this time of year, which is to say this is on pace to be the worst wildfire season on record in California. That's a scary thought. And as far as the fires from Canada, you're looking at a situation where there are some 4,000 blazes so far this year. It's the second worst fire season all time for Canada. So we're really looking at some historic stuff right now. And then on top of all of that, guys, skies, you're seeing just scorching temperatures in parts of the south and southwest. Cities like Phoenix and Yuma and Palm Springs, for example, up at about 110 degrees yesterday. And we're not seeing any signs of relief. So it's really a tough stretch right now between the smoke and the heat that Americans are dealing with. Guys, back to you.
All right, Sam, thank you.
We are keeping a close watch on your forecast as the country wakes up to this another day of extreme weather this morning.
Our track continues with your morning news now. Weather meteorologist Amelia Draper joins us live from our Washington, D.C. affiliate, WRC, with the latest. Amelia, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. Well, here is a look at those air quality alerts. Again, they stretch from the Great Lakes through the Northeast. This includes all of New York, a good portion of Pennsylvania, back into Michigan and Wisconsin as well. And as Sam was saying, while the smoke could scour out as we head throughout the work week, it's a difficult forecast. And ultimately, I think that it's going to stick around in these similar locations. So not a lot of relief. Meanwhile, we head down to the southeast where it is soggy, tracking heavy rainfall already during these early morning hours into parts of South Carolina. You can see even some thunderstorm activity already into parts of Georgia. Now, we do have a flood watch for parts of Alabama and Georgia throughout the day today. This impacts 9 million people. But just outside of this flood watch, we already have some very serious flash flood warnings in effect for parts of South Carolina, where this morning they picked anywhere from about 2 to 3.5 inches of rain, with another inch possible. So talking about that flash flood risk today, it expands from Macon to Augusta up through the Charlotte area, especially in low-lying areas and roadways where it will be the most flood prone. We're talking about rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour. And then as we head throughout the day tomorrow, more rain is expected in the southeast. So looking at total rainfall amounts, many locations picking up upwards of 1 to 3 inches, potentially even a little bit more. Then as we take you out to the southwest, it is all about the extreme heat. It's out there right now, and it will continue to build throughout the work week. Joan, Savannah.
All right, Amelia, thank you so much. Overnight, civil arrest warrants were issued for dozens of Texas Democratic lawmakers. They fled the state to protest what they're calling a Republican power play. Around 50 House Democrats left town on Sunday to slow down a GOP plan to redraw the state's congressional maps. Republicans retaliated by voting yesterday to approve those civil arrest warrants targeting their colleagues across the aisle. So far, Democrats have managed to block the chamber from reaching a quorum, which is needed to move that legislation forward.
This rare mid-decade redistricting effort would redraw congressional lines around Democratic strongholds in South Texas and then in major cities like Austin, Dallas, and Houston. That would ultimately give Republicans a path to pick up 5 seats in next year's midterm elections. Yesterday, Democrats dismissed threats from Governor Greg Abbott, who's ordered the Department of Public Safety to find and arrest those lawmakers who fled the state.
Subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York. So he gonna come get us how? Subpoenas in Texas don't work in Chicago. He's gonna come get us how? So let me be clear. He's putting up smoke and mirrors.
NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us now with the latest. Ryan, good morning. So what are some of the ways Governor Abbott and Republicans are trying to pressure these Democrats to return to Texas? I mean, these arrest warrants, what is it they're trying to accomplish here?
Well, a lot of it really, Joe, are empty threats. Greg Abbott has issued these arrest warrants. The legislative leaders in Texas have issued these arrest warrants. But as you heard the Texas lawmakers say there, they really are not effective if the lawmakers are out of state. That's part of the reason they left the state. They'd have to have cooperation from the state in which they fled in order to bring them back to Texas to seek any sort of justice on that front. The other thing that Abbott is threatening is expulsion. He's saying that these members should be kicked out of office, but that is not an easy process. And frankly, the governor doesn't have a lot of a role in that. That is something that's done by the legislature. It would require them to be accused of something, a trial to take place, and then a super majority in order to expel them. Part of the reason that we're in this position is because there isn't a super majority to move forward if they can't get a simple quorum to move this process forward. So while a lot of these Republican threats are empty to a certain degree, it's also important to keep in mind that Democrats are really just delaying this process. At some point, they are going to have to come back to the state. At some point, they are going to have to come back and assemble. And ultimately, the votes are there to make this process move through. What we're seeing on both sides here is just a lot of theater to draw attention to the issue as it's unfolding in Texas.
And then, Ryan, beyond the theater, as you called it there, what are the stakes here? Like, what's at play on a national level? Because right now, Republicans hold this slim advantage in the House. But what role is President Trump playing in all this? And then what could redistricting do for that slim margin?
Well, Savannah, the reason we are here is because Donald Trump told Texas Republicans that they needed to change their map and try and create more seats that were friendly to Republicans to help the Republicans continue control the House of Representatives in the upcoming 2026 midterms. The first midterm election after a president is elected is always difficult for the party in power. It is rare that they're able to keep that power, especially when you consider how tight the margins are right now. And when you look at President Trump's approval rating right now, it seems to be a good place for Democrats. So Republicans are trying to do everything they possibly can to try and slim those margins down and create advantages where they lie. Some Democrats, though, Savannah and Joe, say by changing these districts, you're also changing districts where Republicans enjoy very healthy margins. Those votes have got to come from somewhere. It could actually create more competitive races. So none of this is a done deal until voters actually go to the polls in 2026.
That's a great point there, Ryan. Also, if this redistricting effort does ultimately succeed in Texas, Democrats are calling for blue states to retaliate, essentially launching a redistricting war. I mean, that could mean something similar could happen in California or New York. What would that look like?
Yeah, it wouldn't be as easy because these blue states have created, in some cases, independent redistricting commissions that make this process harder to do. But like anything in government, if you've got enough votes, you can make it happen. And California and New York Democrats seem insistent that if Texas takes this step, they're willing to take this step as well. It becomes basically a gerrymandering arms race, which ultimately is probably not that good for the political process, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have probably the same number of Democrats and Republicans come to Washington, but they'll come from districts in which there is no incentive to work with the other party. These are deep red districts and deep blue districts. It's just going to make the process in Washington that much harder. It's already difficult to get anything done now. If this becomes a situation where this gerrymandering gets out of control, it's going to be almost impossible to get anything done in Washington.
All right, Ryan Nobles, appreciate your reporting. Thank you.
Well, let's dig into the legal implications here with NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos. So, Danny, these civil arrest warrants, let's start there with just how much weight those even carry. And then secondly, this sort of threat from the governor suggesting that he would call for new elections to fill the seats of these Democrats who've left the state. Is that a possibility?
These are arrest warrants we're talking about, but they're not criminal arrest warrants. They're very, very different. These are not people indicted and charged with a crime. However, the governor has separately said, and this is a separate issue, that they may be committing felonies if they're accepting money. We can get into that, but the arrest warrants are for civil purposes, only to grab them and bring them back here. The real question is, to what extent will Texas be able to reach out beyond its borders and grab representatives who are now in Illinois or some other state? And so in terms of removing these individuals from office, it's an uphill battle. There's a lawsuit called a quo warranto, very rare, but essentially he would be arguing that they have abandoned their position. But it would be a very difficult thing to prove because Texas courts have essentially said that these walkouts to break quorum are permissible.
Let's talk about redistricting here, because typically it happens after a census when we decide, oh, do we need to redraw lines based on what the census tells us about how things have changed over the last decade? Is it legal to do it in the middle of a decade? Do Democrats have a legal challenge here?
The law requires that the redistricting follow the census, but there's no constitutional or statutory rule that it must be every 10 years. The census is every 10 years, so it makes sense. However, there is no prohibition legally to redistricting mid-decade in 2025. There's nothing that disallows it. However, there might still be challenges based on, for example, racial gerrymandering or partisan gerrymandering, but that is a much, much harder case to make because courts have essentially said you can't even bring that claim in court.
I think the language that Ryan used was that this whole thing is kind of delaying the inevitable. How long can a standoff like this keep going?
It's hard to say. I mean, the Texas Constitution and law allows for these walkouts. It could go as long as the Texas legislature is in session. But again, you're going to see the governor try to impose severe financial penalties. And he's even suggesting a theory that they are committing felonies by absconding. And the theory behind that is if they're fundraising and they're accepting money to pay those $500 a day fines, then the argument goes that this is a form of bribery. This is a big contortion of bribery theory, which is as nebulous as it gets to begin with. However, this would be a tough one to prove in terms of a criminal felony, especially with people who believe they're doing their their legislative duty and fighting for their constituency.
Danny Savalos, appreciate you as always. Good to have you here.
In news out of the Trump administration, a senior official says the Attorney General has directed the Justice Department to launch a grand jury investigation into how Obama-era officials assessed Russian interference way back during the 2016 election.
Yeah, and the move comes after National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard said last month that she was sending criminal referrals to the Justice Department. She alleged that top Obama administration officials carried out a, quote, treasonous conspiracy against then-candidate Donald Trump. Well, Democrats are dismissing this as an effort to distract attention from the Jeffrey Epstein case.
NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hilliard joins us now to talk about this and some other headlines out of Washington. Vaughn, good morning. So past probes, including 2 conducted by Republicans, found no crimes committed by Obama-era officials. So what are we learning about this investigation? Is it going to be conducted any differently?
Right. Good morning, guys. It's all a very good question here. And I think we need to start off by saying this process has not been normal. Typically, grand jury proceedings are secret. The Department of Justice never goes and publicly announces that they're impaneling a grand jury to investigate and potentially indict any individuals of criminal wrongdoing. This is just not normal. The second part that is not normal about this is to have an Attorney General, Pam Bondi, make the announcement, but not explicitly say where this investigation is taking place. NBC News has seen the letter in which there's an unnamed prosecutor in a particular district who is going to be sought after to go forward with this investigation here, but there's not even specific alleged crimes that have been named by the Attorney General. Now, we can glean from past weeks the suggestion that potentially conspiracy against rights is a potential crime that they will try to prosecute or investigate. But what is being alleged is questionable to the extent that it amounts to an actual crime. Former DOJ officials who have spoken to NBC News have called this all a political stunt. They are alleging that back in 2017, after then-candidate Trump won the presidency, there was an effort by the Obama administration to undermine his incoming presidency by suggesting that he and his campaign had colluded with Russia. But as you noted, there was a 3-year investigation by special counsel John Durham, who was appointed by then President Trump's Attorney General. He ultimately found no conspiracy, brought no charges of that kind. And there was a bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee report that was chaired by then Senator Marco Rubio, who in 2020 also declared that, in fact, Russia had meddled in the 2016 campaign. So there's a lot of question marks ahead, but this is a very abnormal process. And of course, they would have to ultimately not only impanel that grand jury, but then provide evidence and convince those citizens of Americans to bring indictments against any of these former officials.
Vaughn, we also want to talk about the latest in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. We understand that 2 of Epstein's abuse victims sent letters to a federal court. This was condemning the Justice Department's request to unseal grand jury testimony. What did they have to say?
Right. There are 2 victims that anonymously wrote this letter to federal judges in New York. The deadline was today for not only Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, but also for the Department of Justice and victims and their attorneys to make their case as to whether grand jury transcripts from the Jeffrey Epstein proceedings should be released to the public. And that is where the 2 of these letters come from. One of those anonymous victims called what has taken place over the last month political warfare, and suggesting that the ongoing deliberations over whether to release the Epstein files amounts to just an effort to protect wealthy people, wealthy men specifically. And there was a mention of scrutiny around Donald Trump and DOJ resources to identify where he is, yet having his name within those files not having been released here at this point in time. Those victims, they do request that their attorneys have a bigger role in any potential redactions in order to ensure that victims' names are protected if, in fact, these federal judges out of New York were to make the determination that any parts of these transcripts were to be released to the public.
All right. Vaughn Hilliard, thank you.
Well, a manhunt in the rugged mountains of Montana for a suspect on the run after a deadly shooting is expanding. This morning, police are intensifying their search for a man accused of opening fire at a bar last Friday, killing 4 people. The suspect is an Army veteran who grew up where the shooting happened. Authorities warn he may still be armed and incredibly dangerous. Here's NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky with the latest.
Investigators scouring the woods near Anaconda, Montana for Michael Paul Brown, a 45-year-old suspected killer, after authorities say he opened fire inside a bar Friday morning.
This is an unstable individual who walked in and murdered 4 people in cold blood for no reason whatsoever.
Officials say this photo, showing Brown without a shirt or pants, captured him before he escaped in a stolen pickup. Investigators say he's likely found clothing and is now believed to be on foot. An Army spokesman tells NBC News Brown served from 2001 through 2005 and was deployed to Iraq, adding he served in the Montana National Guard until 2009.
We have to believe he is still armed. We don't know that he is for sure, but we certainly don't know that he isn't. This is a person who had access to firearms. Obviously, he's had training with firearms.
As the search intensifies, Lacey Grosvold is keeping her 9-year-old daughter close.
We all have to be prepared. You think, well, what would happen if he came up the driveway or if he tried to get into my house? I mean, every single person in this community has to think about those things.
Over the weekend, authorities identified the 4 victims. The family of Nancy Loretta Kelly sharing she recently retired.
She just liked people. She was definitely a people person.
Our thanks to Morgan Chesky for that report. Well, the U.S. Marshals say they're now offering $10,000 for any information that leads to Brown's arrest.
A federal judge has ruled Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars until his sentencing this fall. This is the second time the judge has denied a bail motion to release Combs. In his ruling, the judge said the hip-hop mogul, quote, fails to satisfy his burden to demonstrate an entitlement to release. It comes after one of Combs' ex-girlfriends, Virginia Hewitt, wrote a letter to the judge urging his release on bail. She was identified as victim 3 in the government's indictment against Combs, but ultimately did not testify in the trial. Combs was found guilty on 2 counts of interstate prostitution last month, but was acquitted on the more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. More to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including the growing controversy surrounding the reportedly inhumane conditions at Florida's Alligator Alcatraz, as the White House weighs expanding the model to other states.
First, though, after the break, all or nothing, the Trump administration's hardline new push for a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, as the world reacts to some dramatic videos showing emaciated Israeli hostages still being held by Hamas. We are covering it all next.
Welcome back. President Trump is now pushing for an all-or-nothing ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas, a deal that would release all of the remaining hostages. This information comes from leaked audio of U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, who was recorded speaking to hostage families over the weekend. NBC News was not able to independently verify that audio, but 2 people who were in the room did verify the comments. There is renewed concern over the fate of the hostages after Hamas and Islamic Jihad released new videos showing 2 emaciated Israeli hostages. NBC News International correspondent Matt Bradley has the details, and we must warn you, you may find some of these images disturbing.
2 new propaganda videos showing emaciated Israeli hostages in Gaza have outraged Israelis, triggering fresh calls for their release. Palestinian Islamic Jihad posted the video of 22-year-old Ram Bruslovsky last week before Hamas released video of 24-year-old Aviatar David. The images came as U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff visited Israel and the Gaza Strip. In a leaked audio recording of Saturday's meeting with hostages' families, the diplomat signaled a new approach to long-stalled ceasefire negotiations with Hamas.
No piecemeal deals. Now we think that we have to shift this negotiation to all or nothing. Everybody comes home.
But Aviatar's brother Ile, who met with Witkoff at the meeting, told me his brother is running out of time.
My father couldn't recognize his voice in this video. And doctors are saying it can be a matter of days if we don't give them now the medical care they need.
As aid trickles in, Gazans running to get their hands on any food. But aid groups say it's not enough. According to Gazan health officials, hunger has killed 180 Gazans, more than half of them children. Aviatar's brother said his brother's faith is keeping him alive.
Did you watch the video?
No.
Why?
I just know that if I watch that video, I'll collapse.
Officials from the Prime Minister's office said that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will push to occupy the whole of the Gaza Strip, including areas where hostages may be held.
Matt Bradley, thank you.
There's growing concern over the conditions at the ICE detention facility in South Florida that's known as Alligator Alcatraz. The wife of one detainee says her husband called the conditions there inhumane, and he's so outraged she's been on a hunger strike for almost 2 weeks. Despite those concerns, the Trump administration says it wants to build similar facilities in several more states. NBC News correspondent Jesse Kirsch has the details.
Pedro Concepcion says inside this South Florida detention center, there is abuse and mistreatment. In protest, the immigration detainee originally from Cuba started a hunger strike on July 22nd, according to his wife. Then she says he was hospitalized, and despite the personal toll it's taking, Concepcion is still refusing to eat, according to his wife, who spoke with our Miami Telemundo station. They're not the only ones raising concerns about the Florida Everglades facility known as Alligator Alcatraz. Carlos Naranjo is an immigration activist.
We stand with Mr. Pedro, and the conditions are horrific, and this is not going to stop.
A spokesperson for the Florida Division of Emergency Management telling NBC News detainees are given 3 meals per day and have access to clean showers and facilities for hygiene. The federal government has not shied away from the facility either. President Trump recently toured there. The Department of Homeland Security telling NBC News, with the opening of Alligator Alcatraz, we expanded facilities and bed space in just days. We look forward to partnering with other states to open other similar facilities. CBS News reports in an interview, the Secretary of Homeland Security said the possibility of new detention facilities is already being explored for Arizona, Nebraska, and Louisiana. The locations we're looking at are right by airport runways that will help give us an efficiency that we've never had before, the secretary shared, according to CBS. Meanwhile, back in Florida, Concepcion's wife says he has been moved to another immigration facility in Miami, but she says he's still risking his life in protest. Jesse Kirsch, NBC News.
Coming up, ChatGPT's new push for better mental health protections.
When we come back, we're going to dig into how OpenAI is now trying to crack down on some unhealthy behaviors online and what users, especially younger folks, should know. The doctor is in next.
We are back with our weekly mental health check-in, and this week we are taking a look at protective measures. These were added just yesterday by OpenAI for their chatbot ChatGPT.
Plus, Illinois has become the first state to require mental health screenings for students.
Let's bring in Dr. Sue Varma for more on these mental health headlines. She is a board-certified psychiatrist and a clinical assistant professor at NYU Langone Health. Dr. Varma, good morning. Always great to have you with us. So let's start on this one with ChatGPT and these new mental health guardrails, because the company is admitting here that there were times where the chatbot, they said, fell short in recognizing signs of delusion or emotional dependency. This is something we've talked about quite a bit here on NBC, kind of like these relationships people feel they're forming with these chatbots. It's now going to prompt users to take breaks during long conversations, and it's not going to give direct advice about personal challenges. What do you think? And what kind of is your warning when it comes to people with AI and their mental health?
You know, I think that given that mental health treatment is inaccessible for a lot of people, getting to it, making appointments, affording it, a variety of reasons why we're turning to ChatGPT for every aspect of our life. It is so convenient. It's at your fingertips. And you feel an added layer of sort of assurance or support or guidance. And I can see how tempting it is. I use it in my personal life. The problem is that if you're vulnerable, if this is the first time you're ever seeking mental health treatment, if you don't have access to any other inputs in your life, I can see why you can turn to ChatGPT as your only source of diagnosis, if you will, in some cases. And it is so confident and reassuring and agreeable in so many ways. And I think that we need a lot more. I think this is the first step, but we really need at every step for ChatGPT to be able to pick up keywords and say, it sounds to me like you're in a lot of distress. It sounds to me like you would benefit from getting help. These symptoms may point to, may indicate, but understand I can't replace behavioral health treatment. And, you know, it's something that even when I have used to see what it would respond if my patients use it in between sessions, I'm not finding that it's giving that added message over and over again that please see your mental health treatment and do you want me to find resources? Because I feel like it should go there very quickly. And I still think that this is a good first step, but a lot more needs to happen.
Important point there. All right, let's talk about kids heading back to school in Illinois now making headlines. The first state to require annual mental health screenings. So what's your take on this, and what should parents know about these kinds of screenings?
I think that the screenings are really a very important added layer. For so many years when we were talking about mental health crisis in young people, I kept saying that we need multiple layers of diagnosis and intervention and support, and we can't just leave it to the parents. We can't just leave it to the pediatrician's office, because many pediatricians' office require that mental health screenings are now part of the fold of primary care, which was a huge step. And this is an added win, I think, and I hope to see this more across the nation. I can understand that parents might have some hesitation. This law requires that grades 3 through 12 would have mandatory mental health screenings, checking for depression and for anxiety. And I know that there's a lot of stigma in a lot of communities, and they may feel that this is invasive, but this is actually a good thing to be able to flag somebody who might be at risk very early on and to be able to connect them to the proper resources.
New details from an NBC News investigation into a pattern of alleged abuse inside the world's largest Pentecostal denomination. It's called the Assemblies of God. Young men and teenagers say that the man some people called the holiest man on earth used his unchecked access to abuse them for decades. NBC News senior national correspondent Kate Snow spoke to one survivor who said that for a long time, church leaders looked the other way. We have to warn you, some of the content in this story is disturbing.
I can tell you that I'm a registered sex offender.
A shocking confession from Youth Minister Daniel Savala in his living room.
I knew that I was wrong.
Joseph Cleveland's youth pastor brought him to that same room when he was 15.
This is like right after I met Daniel.
Now a father of 3, Cleveland says back then he was looking for a father figure himself. He was told Savala could help guide him.
He was more like a guru. Like, if you struggle with something, let's go ask Daniel.
When did your relationship go from spiritual guidance to something else?
Day 2. It starts kind of slow. It starts with him changing in front of me, or let's talk about masturbation or pornography.
Cleveland says Savala's openness was revelatory.
I can finally talk about this stuff with somebody who everybody has told me to trust and respect.
But for a decade, Cleveland says Savala took that trust and twisted it.
Probably within a year, he kind of progresses to like oral sex, where he kind of forces himself on me.
Makes you do that?
Yeah. Sorry. Every time you talk about it, you relive it, so. And I remember distinctly him grabbing the back of my head and forcing me onto him. It's a memory that never goes away.
That abuse allegedly happened here in Savala's ivy-covered bungalow, nicknamed the Lion's Den. Other victims say it happened here in the backyard sauna. According to lawsuits, police reports, online forums, and interviews with NBC News, Savala had access to boys and young men through Chi Alpha, a college campus ministry run by the Assemblies of God, the world's largest Pentecostal denomination. In a statement to NBC News, the Assemblies of God says it directed Chi Alpha leaders in Texas to stay away from Savala in 2018 and took appropriate actions when it received reports of sexual abuse in 2023. But records show the church knew of Savala's misconduct years before all that.
This is what you call your war room.
Yes.
Ron Blumenkemper Jr. was a member of Chi Alpha in Texas in the 90s. Years later, Blumenkemper learned that in 2012, Daniel Savala was charged with 11 counts of sexually abusing boys in Alaska. He pleaded guilty to 1 count and was a registered sex offender. Chi Alpha leaders in Texas rallied to his defense.
They raised the money for him. They wrote letters to the judge.
For his defense.
For his defense.
Back in Houston, Chi Alpha members continued bringing young men and boys to see Savala. Over the next decade, at least 6 people alerted the Assemblies of God that Chi Alpha was exposing young people to a sex offender. NBC News found emails and phone calls were dismissed or ignored. In 2023, Blumenkemper launched his online forum.
Story after story of people saying, I told, they did nothing.
It was the forum that changed everything for Stephen and Jessica Holt.
I call my husband and say, I think that this is Papa Daniel, and if it is, our son has been to his house.
Their son, a minor we're not naming, was just 13 when he was introduced to Savala through their former church. Years after that conviction in Alaska, the Holts thought it was an honor.
Daniel was Jesus, Moses,
Daniel, Papa Daniel.
The holiest man on earth.
But they say Savala used that persona to groom victims and normalize abuse. They say 4 Chi Alpha members trained by Savala abused their boy.
The guys were pulling their penises out in a circle, encouraging our son to do the same. They would put his head in their crotch and make, sexual sounds.
Why do you think these men who are accused were able to abuse your son over and over again?
He trusted them. And they had phrases of nudity is unity. Everyone does this. It's normal.
Savala says much the same thing in that 2023 confession tape he made with a lawyer obtained by NBC News. It's unclear why he made the video.
I would say, oh, this is natural, this is fun, and I won't tell anybody.
In that video, he says the church had no idea what he was doing. Savala is in jail, facing criminal charges, but has not entered a plea. His lawyers did not respond to a request for comment. 6 of Savala's proteges are also charged with sexual abuse. The Holts sued the Assemblies of God for negligence and settled for an undisclosed sum. The Assemblies of God says they were heartbroken to hear allegations against Savala and the pain his reported actions caused, saying they're doing everything we can to help.
What do you want to see from the Assemblies of God now?
I want to see them release all the reports and take full responsibility. We knew he was a registered sex offender and we didn't do enough, and we're sorry.
An apology is what many say they're waiting for. In 2023, the Assemblies of God did an internal investigation into the alleged abuse that was happening. Accusers like Joseph Cleveland, who you just saw in our story, say the Assemblies of God hasn't made enough changes, and they're urging the church to release any report about their findings in that investigation. Meanwhile, Savala is awaiting trial in a Waco, Texas jail. At least 10 people have accused him of sexual misconduct in criminal filings, in lawsuits, and signed statements. Joe, Savannah.
All right, Kate Snow, thank you for that report. There will be more morning news now, right after this.
Yeah, stay with us.
We're back now with a big announcement that could bring flying taxis one step closer to reality. Aviation company Joby has developed an electric aircraft that's a cross between a helicopter and an airplane. Now, the company says it plans to acquire Blade Air Mobility, that's a rideshare app for helicopters. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist reports on what that deal could mean for the way we get around and the potential turbulence it could face.
A major move that could shape the future of flying. Joby Aviation, maker of an electric helicopter airplane hybrid, agreeing to acquire Blade Air Mobility, essentially an Uber for helicopters. Joby plans to shell out $125 million in the deal, hoping to turbocharge its goal, building a fleet of electric flying taxis, like something out of a sci-fi movie. Joby telling CNBC the acquisition gives it an existing customer base and more takeoff and landing spots.
What we're excited about is taking our quiet aircraft, our electric air taxis, and bringing them to Blade's fleet and accelerating this future.
Since 2014, Blade has been shuttling passengers by helicopter from Manhattan to New York area airports. The trip lasting about 5 minutes, starting at about $200. Blade saying it flew more than 50,000 people in the NYC area just last year, also helping weekenders get out to Long Island. Customers ordering a chopper on demand via an app. Blade also runs a sizable organ transplant service, which is not part of the deal and will continue to operate independently. And while the pitch sounds promising, a future filled with flying taxis may be a tough sell, especially in the prime market of New York City, where residents have long complained about the disruptive noise, greenhouse emissions, and safety risks of helicopters.
Stop the chop!
Helicopter crashes killing upwards of 20 people in the New York City area in the last 2 decades, according to the NTSB and the AP. Most recently, a sightseeing helicopter broke apart and crashed into the Hudson River in April, killing all 6 people on board. That crash reviving efforts to cut back on choppers. Weeks later, the New York City Council passing a bill to ban non-essential helicopter flights unless their operators can meet strict FAA noise standards. And in the June Democratic mayoral primary debate, frontrunner Zoran Memdani answering this lightning round question.
Should helicopter traffic be limited Mr. Mamdani.
Yes, we should ban all non-essential helicopter travel.
With every competitor on stage agreeing to some degree.
Ramos?
Stop the chop.
Joby telling NBC News the deal is, quote, accelerating the shift to quieter skies, something communities have consistently called for. The company previously touting how its electric aircraft have zero operating emissions and, crucially, are much quieter than traditional helicopters. In a promo video released before the deal, Joby comparing the noise of one of the helicopter models Blade uses with the Joby, hoping that less noise appeases residents and opens up new areas for their aircraft to land. And the company has even more high-tech aspirations, with plans to make its aircraft pilot-free. The bold prospect creating a bit of an awkward moment on CNBC.
We fly with a pilot or no pilot?
So initially, it's just like today. It's with a pilot on board. Okay. And as Rob talked about, there will be progressive levels of automation over time.
How do you feel about
With such sky-high ambitions, a long pre-flight checklist before the company can really take off. Aaron Gilchrist, NBC News.
This morning, the White House is turning up its pressure on big banks, floating a new executive order that could dole out fines to firms accused of dropping customers over their political views.
CNBC's Silvana Henao joins us with that and other money news. Hey, Silvana, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Yes, so the White House is drafting an executive order that would fine banks for dropping customers for political reasons. Now, the Wall Street Journal reports regulators would be ordered to investigate whether any banks violate the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, antitrust or consumer protection laws. It also calls on agencies to strike policies that might have contributed to banks dropping certain customers. Earlier this year, President Trump said the CEOs of JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America didn't provide banking services to conservatives, which both companies deny. Now, the White House has declined comment on the Journal report. Meanwhile, shares of BP are moving higher in Europe after the oil giant reported better than expected earnings today, and that was driven by strong oil trading, higher volumes, and solid results from its Castrol business, which the company plans to sell. Now, BP says it will also review its portfolio and consider more cost-cutting actions as part of a drive to do better for shareholders. And Amazon is expanding its autos business to include used and certified pre-owned vehicles, launching initially in Los Angeles. So dealers can list their inventory on Amazon and customers can browse deals while shopping for everything else they buy online. Amazon is promising customer protections, including a 3-day, 300-mile return policy and minimum 30-day, 1,000-mile limited warranty. Amazon is starting with Hyundai dealers as it already has a pre-existing relationship with that automaker, guys.
So is the car delivered with your toothpaste?
Probably.
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
What about those drone deliveries?
Thanks,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, the airport can be full of surprises, right, when you're headed out for an adventure. Sometimes not so great ones. Well, one great-grandmother got the best surprise of her life while she was waiting to board a flight for a trip to celebrate her 85th birthday.
Oh, my God!
It was the surprise of a lifetime for this great-grandmother from Illinois.
Oh, God, that kid looked like Finley.
Kicking off an 85th birthday trip with a couple unexpected travel partners. Her two great-grandsons, Finley and Wyatt, making the trek from Colorado. Mary McCarthy's granddaughter, Sarah Giannini, asked her to name any destination.
She told me Ireland instantly.
So off to the motherland they went, and Mary was ready for adventure. Hiking Blarney Castle, holding an owl.
They were pretty.
Even a hawk.
Well, I saw them, everybody do it, and I thought, well, heck, I'm going to do it.
Sarah, your grandma is with it.
I think that's why we knew we wanted to make it a surprise, because she has the best reactions.
And the best dance moves.
Dancing?
Yeah, baby. I loved it.
Overjoyed to spend her first vacation with her great-grandkids, normally 1,000 miles apart.
I'm lucky, lucky, lucky lady.
One who's already dreaming of going back.
Drop of a hat, I'm ready.
Until then.
Okay, adorable.
She's got some good dance moves.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
All right. Coming up, she is a Gen Z powerhouse who's making waves in the workplace.
When Morning News Now returns, I'll introduce you to the brilliant young mind behind a new startup that's offering up free resources to help her generation win at work. Her name's Avalon Fenster, but you might know her simply as Internship Girl. She joins us next. Stay with us. We are back and we are making waves with a Z, because that's our series where we get to spotlight members of Gen Z that are shaking up their industries. And today we're talking to someone who's helping young women land their dream jobs. Avalon Fenster is the brains behind Internship Girl. So through partnerships with big brands like Meta, LinkedIn, Amazon, huge companies, she offers advice on achieving early career success. The online community has more than 220 million views and hundreds of thousands of followers across Instagram and TikTok. Fenster even landed a spot on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list earlier this year. And that is all while she is at law school. And the Internship Girl herself, Avalon Fenster, is here live on set in studio with us this morning. Avalon, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I'm so excited to talk with you about this. I love what you're doing. I remember the stress of internships, and especially like I didn't know anybody, I had no connection to the industry, which was this television news that I wanted to get into, and the stress of applying and trying to make your application stand out. First, tell me how this all started on social media, like what you were posting and what started to first gain traction.
Internship Girl is a social media platform dedicated to supporting young women break through the glass floors of their careers. And I started this platform because I knew, as a first-generation American woman, but also as a young woman who had an unusually early start to her career, the amount of information that's needed in order to truly accelerate at a pace that you can feel happy with. So I started Internship Girl inspired by my personal and professional experiences. I told myself that once I started posting, if it didn't work out within the first few weeks, I would pivot and find another way to share this information. But after about 2 weeks, around 10,000 young women were already following me on TikTok. I started an Instagram, and the same thing happened. And it started to make me question why I was receiving such an enthusiastic response. And what I started to learn was that even though young women are being educated at higher rates than ever before, they still don't feel that they have the information and tools they need to succeed.
And I know now you have young women from like over 100 countries who are part of your community, who follow you. Explain what you meant by glass floor rather than glass ceiling. I know you said that purposefully.
Sure. So in 1995 at the Fourth World Conference on Women, 189 countries adopted the Beijing Declaration, which was a comprehensive global policy platform meant to empower women legally around the world. And we made huge strides with education and training for women. But still, as I said, a lot of young women don't feel that they have the tools to succeed. So while many women have been able to advance in recent years from these mid to senior levels, there are employee resource groups, there are pathway programs, there are internal initiatives at large organizations to empower women to the more senior levels. Young women are still having trouble facing these structural obstacles.
Absolutely. And tell me some of the actual tactical, tangible resources that you provide. Like, what is it that somebody can find from the Internship Girl?
Sure. So there's about 3 buckets. The first bucket is the hard skills that young women need to succeed. So I share resume templates, cover letter templates, networking templates, LinkedIn messaging templates. Then I share sort of the holistic personal advice on confidence, identity, brand building that young women need to stand out. And then I have this fabulous community of young women who support and empower one another in my comment sections, in my group chats that I start. So Internship Girl is really an all-in-one social media platform, really dedicated to innovating the way that young women engage with their early careers and engage with each other.
And you're doing all this while you're at law school.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going wonderfully. I've loved being in law school. It feels great to also be able to share with my community the nuances of my own journey. Internship Girl is unique not just because of the resources it provides, but because of the perspective that it comes from. A lot of career advice online is given by people who are deep into their career or already have finished their careers, but not a lot of early career advice is given by young people who are currently doing it themselves.
Someone who's just a couple steps ahead.
It's great to be able to share that.
We only have a few seconds left, but we love in this segment to ask you to fill this in. Gen Z is
persistent.
Persistent. I love it. Avalon, thank you very much for coming by. We're impressed by what you're doing. Great to chat with you. Congratulations. And we're thinking about you at school.
That is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. Stay with us. The news continues right now. Good morning, I'm Joe Fryer. Savannah will join us in a moment. Right now on Morning News Now, haze in the air. Millions of people feeling the impact of wildfires in Canada. Well, in California, hundreds of acres are now burned with no relief from the flames. And now more record-breaking temperatures could be on the way for some parts of the country. We'll have your latest forecasts just ahead. Lone Star standoff. Civil arrest warrants issued for those Texas lawmakers, Democrats who fled the state. Those Democrats trying to block a GOP plan to redraw the Lone Star state's congressional maps. The latest ahead is Governor Greg Abbott also threatens to take action. Also this morning, students gearing up to head back to class. That means back to school shopping is underway, with parents looking to get ahead of any price hikes created by tariffs. We'll share some tips on how to get the best deals. And what's old is new again, whether it's the Backstreet Boys sold-out concerts or the new Freaky Friday movie. Millennial-era pop culture is enjoying a rebirth. We're going to tell you what's behind the nostalgic trend and why even Gen Z is taking notice. Let's start this hour with the hundreds of wildfires raging across the western part of the U.S. and in Canada. The smoke is so thick, it's causing air quality alerts in both countries, even grounding flights because the visibility is so poor. And down south, it's the hot weather that's the biggest cause for concern. Forecasters say several areas could see another day of record-breaking high temperatures with no real relief in the immediate future. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock joins us now from Hoboken, New Jersey with the latest. Sam, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning. Imagine if you had 200-plus wildfires burning out of control simultaneously. That is exactly what's happening right now, guys, in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, Canada, manufacturing all of this smoke that's drifting across to the upper Midwest and down here to the Northeast as well. Obviously, that's the New York City skyline over my shoulder in Hudson Yards there. It's not that it's that overcast right now. It's just super smoky. The air quality index is rising to 110 here in the New York City metro. Burlington, Vermont is already at almost 160, guys, as so many cities right now just saturated in smoke.
This morning, Americans across the Midwest and Northeast are waking up under hazy skies.
The air quality is killing me.
At least 10 states are currently under air quality alerts, from Wisconsin to Maine, due to smoke. It comes from Canadian wildfires. More than 4,000 blazes there to date this year, funneling smoke into the U.S. A haze visible in cities from Detroit, notching an air quality index of 156 Monday, among the worst in the country, to Boston, where flights at Logan International Airport faced major delays yesterday due to low visibility. And other fires, also a concern out west, where a steady stream of California's hillsides are ablaze, producing clouds of smoke from sites like the San Bernardino National Forest, where some 350 acres have burned near Big Bear. And in Santa Barbara County, where wildfires have blackened 65,000 acres, prompting emergency evacuations. According to the LA Times, the Golden State's on pace for its worst wildfire year in recent memory. In the Southwest, more scorching temperatures are on deck this week, with Phoenix, Tucson, Yuma, and Palm Springs already hitting highs around 110 degrees.
It's so hot out here, I feel like I am legitimately melting.
So, Joe, Savannah, the good news is that the expectation is the smoke is going to linger for maybe another day and then really start to disperse here in the Northeast, Midwest as well. But if you want to understand the level of concern, pulmonologists say once you get to an AQI above 100 up to, say, 200 is the equivalent of being exposed to a half to a full pack of cigarettes every single day. So obviously for those that have preconditions, asthma, heart disease, it's elevated concern. Guys, back to you.
Sam, thanks so much. Let's keep that conversation going, because some health experts say all the smoke from the wildfires is doing serious harms to our bodies. So let's bring in NBC News medical analyst Dr. Vin Gupta for a look at how these smoky skies can impact our health. What are, Dr. Gupta, some of the immediate effects that wildfire smoke can have on our bodies, especially our respiratory system?
Yeah, Joe, good morning. You know, Sam teed it up beautifully. And really the concern here is if you're breathing in these fine particles that you can't see with the naked eye, but you can smell, certainly your body can feel it. It causes inflammation in the airways and really causes something called bronchospasm in somebody, even healthy individuals, but particularly if you have asthma, if you have emphysema from, say, a history of smoking, this will exacerbate that and cause your lungs to really react. And so that's number one. We worry about that. We see increased rates of hospitalizations, ED visits in the setting of poor wildfire smoke amongst those with underlying lung disease. So, Joe, that's the main concern.
At what point, doctor, should you seek medical help if you know that you're being exposed to smoke from wildfires?
Yes, Savannah, really important for people to realize that it's the same set of symptoms, red flag symptoms that we worry about just in general. So if you can't catch your breath, if you have an oximeter, we used to talk about that a lot during the pandemic, and you measure your oxygen, say it's 92% or less. You just feel like you can't do things that you normally could do, just walking on level ground. Those are chest pain in particular, or just, again, you can't catch your breath. That's when you want to say, let me go get seen, at least to figure out what's going on.
This has been happening more and more over the last couple of years. Are there any long-term health effects that we should be worried about?
Yeah, Joe, I'll say just in the last 5 years, there's been big studies showing that just air pollution, chronic air pollution, is the fourth leading risk factor for early death and disability worldwide and in the United States. So it's an independent risk factor. So chronic exposure, what does it do? The lungs, obviously, it impairs lung function, heart function. It can really worsen heart disease. But what we're also seeing is that it can accelerate aging. It can lead to increased rates of dementia, and it can decrease immune system function. So there's a lot of unexpected consequences, I think, for a lot of people that we're now noticing because of chronic air pollution.
Doctor, also this can impact our brains, I know. What are some of the ways that it can have an effect on our mental health, just the toll it takes kind of dealing with this for a prolonged period of time?
Yeah, Savannah, this is the area of research I think we're learning a lot more about. But what we've seen now is this focus on indoor air quality as a result of what's happening outside. And what we've seen is that amongst kids in, say, elementary schools, if they're exposed, if that building does not have great ventilation systems, and say there's a wildfire happening outside, we've seen actually a decrease in test scores, decreased cognitive function, even amongst children chronically exposed to poor air quality for whatever reason it may be. Amongst older adults, again, we've seen this link between chronic exposure to air pollution and, say, increased rates of dementia. Say if somebody lives in an interurban city next to a transportation hub, or if they're exposed to wildfire smoke for prolonged periods. And so there is a clear link here between cognitive function across age groups, Savannah, and exposure to air pollution.
Dr. Van Goop, there's so many impacts to keep in mind. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you.
Let's get the latest on what's next here for all this extreme weather so that you and your loved ones can stay prepared.
Meteorologist Amelia Draper from our D.C. affiliate WRC joins us with your morning News Now forecast. Amelia, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. Here's the latest on these air quality alerts, kind of the headline. And we're going to continue to hopefully see this smoke scour out as we head throughout the work week, but it might not. So here is the latest. We have air quality alerts from the Great Lakes, Michigan, Wisconsin, over into the Northeast. This includes a good portion of Pennsylvania and all of New York. Meanwhile, as we head down to the Southeast, the story there about the heavy rainfall that continues to fall this morning. In fact, we're already looking at some flash flood warnings there. A good portion of Georgia, parts of Alabama are under a flood watch today, with 9 million people under this flood watch. Meanwhile, we already have a few flash flood warnings in effect for parts of South Carolina, where up to 3.5 to 4 inches of rain has already fallen. That is leading to flash flood concerns. And we're going to see the flash flood risk today from Charlotte down through Augusta and through Macon. The biggest concern is going to be low-lying areas and roads that could see flooding. Remember, you never want to drive through a flooded road. We're talking the potential for rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour. And more rain is going to continue in the Southeast, not just today, but throughout the day tomorrow. So here's a look at the total rainfall forecast for the Southeast. Many areas potentially picking up 1 to 3 inches of rain. And of course, some isolated areas, especially in the Carolinas, seeing a little bit more. And then as we take you out to the Southwest, it's all about extreme and dangerous heat there that will continue to build throughout the work week, with record highs becoming more and more likely as the work week wears on. We have 16 million people under heat advisories or more serious heat warning. This includes areas like Phoenix, Tucson, and Yuma. The high temperature today in Phoenix forecast to get to 112. Las Vegas warming to a high temperature of 107. And then we head to the tropics, where we're tracking Tropical Storm Dexter. This is just a fish storm, meaning it's staying out to sea, not having any impact on land. But there are 2 other areas of interest that we're starting to track. So here's an area to watch right off off of the Carolinas, Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. This has a 40% chance of becoming a tropical system later this week. And then we also have another wave that's out in the Atlantic that has about a 50% chance of becoming a tropical system. We typically have our most active tropical weather around the beginning of September, so we are continuing to get on into our tropical storm system. And meanwhile, here in the Northeast, it's all about cooler temperatures. Temperatures in the mid-Atlantic today only warming into about the low to mid-80s. That's almost 10 degrees below normal. So again, smoky skies to the north, that flood risk down to the southeast, dangerous heat out in the southwest, and then the potential for some severe storms in the central northwest. Joe and Savannah.
Amelia, thank you so much.
The political standoff in Texas is escalating. Republicans have now voted to issue civil arrest warrants for dozens of Democrats. Comes after more than 50 House Democrats left town on Sunday. They're trying to slow down a GOP plan to redraw the state's congressional maps in their favor, something that could have national implications. NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler has the latest from Austin. Ryan, good morning.
Joe, good morning. There are 2 weeks left in this special session, but some of the Democrats I spoke to in Chicago yesterday told me they're packing for 3. They're finding friendly territory elsewhere in the country. Governors in California, Illinois, New York, all promising that if Texas messes with the maps, they'll mess with Texas.
This morning, the governor of Texas threatening to arrest Democratic lawmakers after more than 50 fled the state to stall a controversial redistricting plan with national implications.
Democrats are freaking out because they are realizing Texas has the authority to redistrict.
Governor Greg Abbott writing that he's ordered state officials to, quote, arrest and return every derelict House Democrat, later asking Texas Rangers to investigate them. The House Speaker issuing civil arrest warrants for the missing lawmakers. All largely symbolic moves. The warrants can't be enforced outside of Texas, and lawmakers will not face civil or criminal charges from the arrests. The redistricting idea, first pushed by President Trump, calls on Texas to create 5 additional Republican seats in Congress ahead of next year's midterms, potentially helping the GOP keep its power in Washington.
They can't win the midterms, so they're trying to steal them.
The proposed map would put some Democratic strongholds into red districts. Downtown Austin, for example, would likely get a Republican representative in Congress, drawn into a massive rural area stretching nearly 4 hours east. The political move igniting a potential redistricting race.
This is a war.
With several Democratic state leaders vowing to fight back, including California Governor Gavin Newsom.
California will not sit by idly and watch this democracy waste away. We'll fight fire with fire.
The defiant Texas Democrats heading to cities including Chicago, Albany, and Boston. State Representative James Tallarico says he's in Chicago for the long haul.
What's it going to take for Democrats to successfully block this map?
I'm hopeful that mutually assured destruction could walk our Republican colleagues back from the brink.
Joe and Savannah, I want to make sure we mention as well, yesterday marked 1 month since those devastating hill country floods killing more than 130 people. Still thousands of people trying to rebuild, many of them grieving. There is flood relief legislation pending at the Capitol, but as long as Democrats remain out of town and as long as Republicans continue to prioritize redistricting, many people in Kirk County are still waiting on those bills to pass. Joe.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much.
Well, with just 2 days to go until President Trump's sweeping new trade tariffs come into effect, the president is now threatening to raise levies on India. It is a move that could raise the price you pay for items like smartphones. All this is as lawmakers across the country are facing a new wave of rowdy town hall meetings. NBC News Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander has the latest.
Good morning. Much of the political debate, the fireworks really have moved from here in Washington to lawmakers' home districts where they are coming face to face with constituents pressing for answers on all sorts of topics, most notably the president's policies and its impact on their wallets. And it comes as President Trump is set to enforce steep new tariffs on dozens of countries within 48 hours.
This morning, voters raising concerns about the economy. At a town hall overnight for Republican Mike Flood of Nebraska, anger erupting over a range of Trump administration moves, including the president's economic agenda.
Why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class?
With all due respect, sir, the Republican Party
now more than ever, represents the heart and soul of the working class.
Voters protesting the congressman's support for the president's massive tax cut and spending bill. A new AP poll this morning shows that Americans are concerned about the economy and rising prices. About half those polled consider the cost of groceries to be a major source of stress. And almost 20% of those people have used deferred payment services to fund groceries at some point. New tariffs on dozens of countries are set to lock in place this Thursday, potentially raising prices on a range of goods, including groceries like bananas and coffee, along with products Americans buy beyond the supermarket, with brands like Adidas, Stanley Black & Decker, Mattel, and Hasbro raising prices or planning to do so soon. President Trump is forging ahead, celebrating yesterday's strong markets overnight and raising new threats. The latest warning shot fired at India, with the president saying he will substantially raise the import tax on goods like smartphones, medicine, and clothing unless they stop buying Russian oil. India slamming the threat as unjustified and unreasonable. Still, the president appears unfazed.
Hundreds of billions of dollars is flowing into our country. We've never seen anything even close.
Also this morning, after President Trump slapped a 15% tax on goods from the European Union, which is America's largest trading partner, the EU has now paused its plans to retaliate with higher taxes on American-made goods, looking to try to negotiate a better deal with the White House. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you.
In New Jersey, some Monday morning commuters got more than they bargained for during their rush hour commute.
Yeah, fire underneath a PATH train suspended several busy lines, and more than a dozen passengers were treated for smoke inhalation. NBC News correspondent Stephanie Gosk is here with the latest on that. Hey, Steph, good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning. You know, this fire broke out on a PATH train, the commuter train that brings roughly 165,000 passengers daily between northern New Jersey and Manhattan. These were just people trying to get to work, starting the day with some very scary moments.
A frightening scene for commuters after a fire erupted underneath this train in New Jersey yesterday, causing panic as passengers rushed to evacuate smoke-filled cars. The fire shutting down several stations, snarling the busy Monday commute.
There are no trains out of Hoboken right now, so we are trying to make it to a ferry.
Port Authority officials say it wasn't clear what sparked the fire. There were no reports of major injuries, according to authorities. 13 people were treated for smoke inhalation at the scene, 9 taken to a hospital for further evaluation. And it comes during a wild summer for commuters throughout the Northeast. Rain has been shutting down highways and impacting public transportation, flooding subways.
Came down really, really fast as rain was coming sideways.
These riders clinging to gates to avoid the water last week. Now, after that dramatic fire, all stations in New Jersey have reopened as residents take travel disruptions in stride.
It's a little bit of an inconvenience. We have to now refigure our phones out and figure out where to go next.
The PATH train is back up and running this morning. Officials working to figure out what happened and to ensure, guys, that this doesn't happen again. Pretty scary stuff.
You know, kidding, but I bet they're glad it's back to normal today, hopefully.
Yes. Oh, yeah. What a mess yesterday. Thank you. Well, there's much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, blast from the past. Millennial nostalgia is enjoying a renaissance this summer. We're going to tell you what's behind it.
Up first, Israel is discussing plans to occupy the Gaza Strip. We're going to have the latest developments as hopes for a ceasefire are on thin ice.
We are back with the latest in the Middle East, where officials from Prime Minister Netanyahu's office say he's planning to occupy the whole of the Gaza Strip, including areas where hostages may be held.
This development potentially dashes hopes of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, despite a repeated push from the Trump administration for a deal.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez. He joins us from London with the latest. Raf, good morning. So we know there are some questions about the exact meaning of this statement. What do we know about Netanyahu's plans, and what would full occupation of the Gaza Strip look like?
Guys, good morning. In the short term, it would mean more fighting, more devastation inside of Gaza. The Strip is already largely in ruins, but there are areas where the Israeli military has not sent its ground troops. That's mainly in central Gaza, areas like Deir al-Balah. And part of the reason they have not gone in there is that they believe that some of the remaining hostages are being held there, and it would put those hostages at risk to send Israeli troops in. We've seen Hamas in the past executing hostages as Israeli forces drew near. But officials in Prime Minister Netanyahu's office are saying he has now taken the decision that he is prepared to move ahead with a full occupation, regardless of the risks of the hostages. So in the short term, more fighting in areas that have largely been spared so far. In the long term, it raises real questions about who is going to govern Gaza at the end of this. Israel has been clear. Hamas can no longer be in charge after October 7th. The international community has been saying it should be the Palestinian Authority, that is the internationally recognized Palestinian semi-government that is in charge of parts of the occupied West Bank, who should govern Gaza. Netanyahu and his far-right government have said that that is a total non-starter. And so this really raises the possibility it could end up being the Israeli military who is responsible for food distribution, for schools, for sewage inside of Gaza, and that is something many, many Israelis are deeply opposed to.
So, Raph, amid all of this, we've got this audio that was leaked to an Israeli news website. In it, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff told hostage families in Tel Aviv over the weekend that President Trump is pushing for an all-or-nothing ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Now, NBC News was not able to independently verify the audio, but two people who were in the room did corroborate the comments. First, has the U.S. responded yet to Netanyahu's latest military plans? And then what have we learned about Witkoff's findings from his trip to the Middle East?
So, Joe, Witkoff is due to brief President Trump about his time. He was in Israel meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu. He also was briefly inside Gaza at one of those controversial aid distribution points. So we will see what he tells the president, how the president responds. But we are hearing a shift from President Trump's special envoy. He is calling this now an all-or-nothing deal. Previously, the goal of the Trump administration had been to try to secure a 60-day ceasefire. Some hostages would come out, some relief would get into Palestinians. Now they are saying they are looking for a deal that ends the war entirely and brings all of the hostages home. It is not clear that that is a deal that Prime Minister Netanyahu will agree to. It is something the hostage families have been pushing for a long time, and there's a fresh sense of urgency with Hamas releasing new videos of some of those hostages who have now been inside Gaza nearly 670 days. Guys.
Raph, amid all this, the fight for aid on the ground in Gaza continues. According to health officials, at least 67 people died in the enclave yesterday, and that includes 30 who were waiting for aid, they say. Can you walk us through the latest aid distribution efforts?
So the humanitarian situation just remains absolutely dire, Savannah. We have seen Israel easing some of its restrictions, some of its blockade on food getting into Gaza, but humanitarian organizations are saying it's still not a fraction of what's needed. They estimate you need about 600 trucks a day getting into Gaza to feed the population. Right now, it's something like 100 trucks. Israel is easing one new restriction today. They are saying that they're going to start allowing private goods to get into merchants in Gaza, and that might go some way towards easing the extremely high prices in the markets right now. Guys.
All right, Ralph Sanchez, thank you so much.
Let's go to Hong Kong now, where days of relentless rain set off major floods, disrupting life all across the city.
NBC News international correspondent Claudia Lavanga joins us from Rome with that and more world news in 60 seconds. Claudia, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, that's right. Hong Kong says the highest storm warning remains in place as heavy rain continues to batter southern China, where at least 5 people were killed by flash floods over the weekend. Now, authorities said schools, hospital wards, courts, and post offices in Hong Kong will remain closed until the storm has passed. Let's go now to Brazil, where on Monday, the Supreme Court ordered the house arrest for President Jair Bolsonaro for his alleged role in a plot to remain in office after he lost the presidential election in 2022. Bolsonaro is also accused of being part of a conspiracy to kill President Lula da Silva. President Trump, an ally of Bolsonaro, called the proceedings a witch hunt. And finally, let's go to New Zealand, where the government announced plans to charge foreign tourists a fee of about $12 to $24 to access some of the country's famous natural sites from 2027. It's part of a controversial shakeup of conservation law that will make it easier to use protected land for economic activities. The country's Green Party criticized the law, saying it puts profit above the protection of nature, guys.
All right, Claudio, thank you so much. Coming up, next time you head to the beach, you may find it a little harder to find a place to soak in the sun.
When we come back, we'll take a look at the trend of these sprawling beach setups, even including inflatable sofas and tents. It's sparking a heated debate. You're watching Morning News Now.
Back now with a closer look at what's making news in the world of politics this morning, starting with a visit to the Middle East by a high-ranking U.S. official. NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us now. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. At a time of increased tensions in the Middle East, the House Speaker Mike Johnson made a quick trip to Israel to demonstrate the Republican leader's support for the country as their conflict with Hamas continues. Israel, of course, has been under a great deal of scrutiny as the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continues to escalate. Johnson visited an Israeli settlement in the West Bank. He's the highest-ranking American official to ever do so, drawing some criticism from the Palestinian Foreign Ministry. The speaker also prayed at the Western Wall wearing a kippah. Johnson said that the scripture says that America must always stand with Israel. And we are not done talking about George Santos, the former congressman reported to jail just a little more than a week ago. And now one of his former colleagues is calling for his release. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has written President Trump a letter asking for clemency for Santos, saying that he's learned his lesson and that his punishment does not fit his crimes. Santos had begged President Trump for a pardon, and that never came. He is scheduled to serve a little more than 7 years in prison. And that's where we start the day in politics. Joe, back
All right,
to you.
Ryan, thank you so much. Now to the legal battle over a social media trend that comes with potentially deadly consequences. Some teens in New York City are subway surfing, literally standing on top of moving subway cars, all in an effort to gain digital clout. The NYPD is trying to put a stop to the risky stunts by using drones. NBC News Now anchor Gaudi Schwartz spoke to one mom who blames social media companies for her son's death and is now taking them to court.
Deadly trend seen on social media that's gone worldwide, but it's New York City where the daredevil antics seem to be most common.
He passed away with his phone in his hand.
Norma Nazario's 15-year-old son Zachary died in 2023 after getting hit in the head by a beam while subway surfing over the Williamsburg Bridge.
The trains ran him over through his stomach area. He got electrocuted.
An NBC News review of local reports found 18 deaths from subway surfing in New York City between 2023 and 2024. The NYPD says that 3 people have died so far this year, with police making more than 460 subway surfing arrests in the past 2.5 years. 200 of those arrests assisted by a new anti-subway surfing program where police fly drones over trains to spot anyone who might be riding on top. Still, the most recent death happened just last month.
I saw him and I expected him to wake up.
And while people have been taken to the tops of trains since the locomotive days, Norma Nazario puts much of the blame for her son's death on social media.
He was introduced to subway surfing under that TikTok challenge.
She's suing the parent companies of both Instagram and TikTok.
We think this is the first subway surfing social media case.
Joe Belloc is her lawyer. The lawsuit, which a judge has allowed to proceed, claims that Zachary Nazario was targeted, goaded, and encouraged to engage in subway surfing by the platforms.
These are challenges which are challenging a young person to go out and engage in this behavior, and doing that over and over and over again.
It also claims the algorithms fed him unacceptably dangerous challenges, directly causing Zachary's death.
That it is being targeted towards young people who are not fully developed decision makers and prone to engage in risky behavior.
Both Meta and TikTok tell NBC News that these videos violate their policies and are removed when found. They are defending against the lawsuit. And on TikTok, searching for these videos brings you to this page about the dangers of online challenges. Instagram has a similar policy.
They need to step up and think of the children of the future.
As for who is to blame for the death of Nazario's son, that painful judgment may be decided in court.
I don't wish this to any mother.
Gaudi Schwartz, NBC News.
If you've been to the beach lately, you may have noticed it's not just towels and umbrellas lining the sand anymore. From full-sized tents to inflatable sofas, more beachgoers are bringing a whole lot more than sunscreen. The popularity of cabanas and tents on the sand is now sparking a heated debate. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda joins us now from the Jersey Shore with her inflatable sofa and her cabana and or just a towel. Hey, Emily.
Hey, Joe, remember the days when all we needed to enjoy a day at the beach was just a towel, maybe some sunblock, water? But nowadays it feels like increasingly people are packing up to move in for the season with wagons, tents, cabanas emerging seemingly everywhere, and along with it, a heated debate over beach etiquette. As millions flock to the shore for some solitude in the sun, this summer, some beachgoers are finding that sandy serenity is taking on an overwhelming new look with elaborate beach setups.
When did we start bringing our entire living room to the beach?
Colorful cabanas and shades crowding already crowded shores. Inflatables, massive coolers, and camping tents part of the takeover, too.
Now, all of a sudden, people will come early in the morning and they'll leave these huge tents and just go home, and then that's their reserved space.
It's definitely annoying. Everyone's just on top of each other.
Complaints over this new era of sand castles splashed across social media.
Keep them things in your yard.
And while some are calling the coverings rude, others are raising safety concerns.
I can't see my kid when she's in the water. It blocks the view.
Some beaches in Delaware, New Jersey, and Maryland have decided to ban oversized coverings in an effort to enhance safety, improve visibility, and ensure a more enjoyable experience for all beachgoers, according to officials in Ocean City, Maryland.
We're one deluxe cabana away from a full-blown HOA meeting on the shore.
Stephanie Carls is a retail expert.
In a summer where everything costs more, beach cabanas have then become a way for families to create that comfort. They're carving out their own space and making the most of a day that they've already spent a lot, even just to get there.
And those big setups can come with big benefits. Lifeguards pointing out multiple anchor points are typically more secure than umbrellas, and many hail the coverings as important defenses against the sun, especially when it comes to protecting seniors and young kids. Shibumi reporting a recent surge in demand for its colorful shades, selling more than 100,000 annually.
If you need to stay out of the sun, they do serve a great purpose that way.
As many agree, there's a mindful way to do it.
And I tried to stay back from most of the crowd, and everybody was kind of in front of me. So I thought that was a good compromise.
So among some of the other most popular beach etiquette violations, people tell me playing music too loudly, feeding the seagulls, or setting up your camp right next to another group when there's ample space in other places for you to set up. But Joe, I want to demonstrate my personal biggest pet peeve at the beach, and that is when someone shakes out their sandy towel right next to someone else. We've got producer extraordinaire Catherine, who was so excited to be a part of this assignment.
Job well done, and I hope you didn't get too much sand on you there. Pretty soon we're going to have interior design shows for cabanas on the beach, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Emily, thank you so much, appreciate it. Coming up, back to school shopping is here as students get ready to return to the classroom. Up next, we're going to share some tips on how to get the most bang for your buck as parents express concerns about higher costs due to tariffs. Stay with us. Welcome back. It is August, and for some students, that means school is back in session. This week, many districts in the South are returning to the classroom. For parents, that means back-to-school shopping is officially underway. NBC Business and Data correspondent Brian Chung joins us with more on the top steals and deals. It still blows my mind because I'm from Minnesota, where we always start after Labor Day. So when I hear kids are going back to school in early August, I'm like, they are? Anyway, talk about the deals.
yeah, in the South and in other parts of the country, yes, certainly they're already getting ready. A new survey out actually shows a lot of parents started shopping earlier than before to try to get ahead of those possible rising costs from tariffs. But fear not, because despite the concern, there are still ways to stay within budget for your back-to-school shopping.
With August upon us, summer vacations are winding down, and back-to-school shopping is gearing up as students get ready to return to the classroom. But this year, families who are already feeling the financial strain from recent tariffs may be met with some sticker shock.
Okay, I really like this backpack, but why is it $70?
Shopping expert Trey Bodge says expect essential school supplies across the board to cost more.
Many things are over 20% more, and that includes school supplies, pencils, pens, some tech items.
And cost-conscious parents are grabbing supplies earlier than before. According to the National Retail Federation, 2/3 of shoppers began buying school-related items in early July. The top reasons, planning around sales and spreading out costs.
Question parents, how much money are we spending on our back-to-school shopping for our kids?
Nationwide, the average all-in spending this year for a kindergarten through 12th grade student for everything from clothes and supplies to technology is a considerable $858, down from $875 in 2024. For a college student, parents plan to spend $1,326, also down from $1,365 last year.
Spending is going to be down a little bit, but because items are more expensive in general, what that means is that parents and kids are going to be able to afford and buy fewer things.
For Rachel Reyes, a mom of 2 boys, back-to-school shopping is already daunting, without adding on the extra expense.
I refuse to pay $19 for a pack of 96 sharpened pencils. I was totally shocked by that sticker price.
But Reyes found deals at Walmart that were even better than discount stores.
There were folders for 25 cents and scissors for $1. Buying in bulk is helpful to split amongst your children.
And take advantage of sales tax holidays that are still to come in a handful of states. Amazon also offering deep discounts with items under $5 that include snacks, lunchboxes, glue sticks, and notebooks. Office supply chains like Staples and Office Max both offering school essentials starting at 25 cents. And remember, you can always buy more school supplies in the fall.
Hold some of your budget until after school starts.
And our shopping expert, Trey Bodge, also said it could be a good time to teach your kids about budgeting and get creative with school supplies, like using secondhand items such as backpacks, calculators, or clothes. And for college students, buying books secondhand as well. Joe, I was a power user of like Facebook Marketplace and getting those secondhand textbooks. And sometimes even the previous owner, they leave their notes in there.
They highlighted the
exactly.
things
It's
you needed
already
to
annotated.
do. It's like your work's half done right there. All right. Any other last-minute tips for people who are looking to save and they're going back to school soon?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, use loyalty programs. So at companies like CVS and also at Target, just for entering in your email address, you can get discounts. But also use those cashback cards. If you have, let's say, for example, a card that gets you 2 to 3% back, if you're going to be spending over $800 per kid, well, that's going to amount to at least, $20 or so automatically given back to you in terms of, statement credit that you could use. And again, you don't have to do anything. So if you have those types of credit cards, make sure you take advantage of those.
I love saving in all those little ways. It's the
there
best.
you go.
All
That's
right.
up.
Brian, thanks so much. Time for some more money news now. Arrests have been made in Taiwan for allegedly stealing trade secrets from the world's top chip makers. CNBC's Savannah Henao has that and some other financial headlines. Savannah, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, so as you mentioned, authorities in Taiwan have arrested 3 people for allegedly stealing trade secrets from the world's largest maker of semiconductor chips, Taiwan Semi. So the people were detained after TSMC reported an internal investigation showed current and former employees had illegally obtained information from the company. So Taiwan Semi makes chips for many well-known names, including NVIDIA and Apple. All right, Samsung is upgrading its voice assistant Bixby with generative AI features. Those will roll out soon to Samsung TVs, and the company says Bixby should now be better at answering natural language questions about anything, whether they're on the TV screen or not, and it will also help turn your TV into a smart home hub with voice controls for Samsung appliances. And Google is taking shots at Apple over its delayed AI rollout. So in a new ad campaign for its Pixel phones, Google calls out Apple for failing to deliver on its promised AI upgrades to Siri and stalled launch of Apple Intelligence. Now, the ad is urging iPhone users to, quote, change your phone, ending with the reveal of the Pixel 10's launch date, August 20th, Joe.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much.
Got it.
An important warning from experts this morning about content generated by artificial intelligence that's circulating on social media. You may have seen posts like this on your feeds recently sharing feel-good stories about acts of kindness and humanity that go viral. Here's the catch. They aren't real. NBC News Chief Consumer Investigative Correspondent Vicki Nguyen spoke to some experts who say this type of content is hurting people's ability to decipher fact from fiction.
The photos and stories are designed to steal your heart.
This post about a young white woman who adopts an abandoned black baby, working 3 jobs to raise him on courage and unconditional love. The boy growing up to be a kind, brilliant young man who got into Harvard. The story has been viewed more than 28 million times with nearly 500,000 likes. Katie Couric posting, "I love this story so much, and what a happy ending. I still believe most people are good." This post about a dad with Down syndrome raising his son against the odds, generating 113 million views. Our own Maria Shriver sharing it with her nearly 2 million followers, writing, "Tears welled in my eyes. Never doubt in your power of love." These posts liked by many celebrities too, from Ricky Martin, Octavia Spencer, and Chloe Fineman to Alyssa Milano and Debbie Gibson. Though they seem real, these feel-good posts are anything but.
Literally everything is fake.
They were created by LA couple Chris Foster and Jasmine Gomez using the artificial intelligence of ChatGPT.
We want to create a story where it can change people's life and people can connect to it.
So many bad things are happening, and we just want something different, something positive for people.
They say creating fake content has become their full-time job, getting paid by platforms when posts go viral.
I've gotten like 1.5 billion views in a month from just Facebook, billion.
How much revenue does that
generated about like 65,000.
In 1 month?
In 1 month.
Yeah.
With just a few commands, Foster showed us how easy it is to create fake photos using AI.
So we just generated a very similar photo to the one that went viral on your Instagram account within minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can make a story that goes with this image.
I can, yeah.
They say all their feel-good posts are based on compilations of real-life stories. Foster says he discloses he's an AI creator at the top of their accounts.
Our intention is never to fool people or mislead people.
A lot of people don't go to the profile and see that you're an AI creator. They just take it at face value. Do you feel a responsibility as creators to make sure people know the difference between what's real and what isn't?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you. Whatever you want to believe, it's up to you. I feel like we're not harming nobody.
In response to our story, Debbie Gibson called this post a beautiful work of fiction and a terribly deceitful use of AI. Maria Shriver posting, "The beauty and feelings of the story can still influence us to be loving, accepting, and caring to all," but telling us she had no idea this was AI.
Even if you are a thoughtful, smart, intelligent journalist, all of us can be fooled by something that makes us feel good.
Tristan Harris is co-founder of the Center for Humane Technology and an expert in AI ethics.
When the creators say, "This makes people feel good," what's the harm?
You're blurring people's relationship with what is real, and you blur people's caring about the distinction. And so that is not healthy for a society.
With 90% of online content predicted to be AI generated by next year, it's a warning for all of us. Foster says from now on, he'll add clearer AI disclosures to his posts.
What would be your advice to the people who are consuming it?
My advice is just to be careful what you see on the internet. Just do your own diligence and make sure you know what you are seeing.
Our thanks to Vicky Nguyen for that report. NBC News reached out to all the celebrities who liked some of those feel-good AI posts, but has not heard back from most of them. The bottom line is to look at the comments in the profile of the creator before you like or repost anything online. Freakier Friday, which premieres this weekend, and The Devil Wears Prada 2, with filming for that just getting underway. A lot of millennials are calling the resurgence of these teenage hallmarks healing. Now, even younger generations are taking a liking to all things millennial culture. NBC News culture and trends editor Saba Hamidi joins us now with more on this. Saba, good to have you with us. So we were kind of laughing about this a moment ago, how millennials are now old enough to feel nostalgia. But why are we seeing this resurgence of the millennial era right now?
Yes. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, and thank you for waking me up with that Backstreet Boys clip. I will say, I think that generational nostalgia, as you mentioned, is cyclical. By that, I mean, at some point in their lives, every single person of every generation experiences this because, as the saying goes, what's old becomes new again. So right now, millennials, typically defined as those who are born between the 1980s and mid-1990s, are sort of experiencing that tenfold. I think then there's also the fact that nostalgia has and always will be something that serves as escapism. So the author I spoke with, Kate Kennedy, she wrote a book called One in a Millennial, which is a very appropriate topic for our conversation. But she told me that she feels like nostalgia is, quote, a connective tissue that makes people feel less alone and judgmental towards themselves. So I really felt this. I went to Backstreet Boys that first opening weekend, and I am a nostalgic millennial myself. And I think, everyone wore white, like millennium era white. Everyone screamed unapologetically. And I think this plays into my third reason that nostalgia is back for millennials is we're at this age where we're sort of leaning into the things that we were once made fun of for. So we're no longer embarrassed by that earnestness as a generation. And there's been, as you showed the article that we previously covered, a shift in that opinion towards millennials as well. We were once described as chuggy or basic, cringe, and now we're embracing that.
So what are some of the projects that are cashing in on this nostalgia trend right now?
Yeah, I mean, so Hollywood always loves to recycle IP. And while, this is not all an immediate reaction to millennial nostalgia being in right now, because some projects get greenlit sometimes years in advance, it's very clearly playing into the favor of the people behind these projects. So as you have on this lovely graphic, Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore 2, which came out almost 30 years after the 1996 film. It debuted to 46.7 million views on Netflix, which made it actually the streaming service's largest US film opening ever. That was filled with a lot of nostalgia as well. Obviously, the returning cameos, plus a ton of fun new cameos. It was a great watch. And then, as you mentioned, also, meanwhile, the buzz around Devil Wears Prada 2 has really caused a frenzy in New York City, including right over by you guys in 30 Rock, where Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci have been spotted filming in their, respective scenes for the sequel to that 2006 film. And, fans online are already analyzing their high fashion looks, trying to, figure out the plot line and lining up to catch glimpses of those stars.
Based solely on the looks there. We only have 30 seconds left here, but talk about how this is playing out on social media.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's seeing a massive reaction on social media. If you didn't go to the Sphere concert, you feel part of it. You want to relive it. There's been posts like, this is healing me. This is my therapy. It's extremely millennial friendly on the internet right now. Every single platform, all these people are really obsessing over Backstreet Boys and everything else, Gilmore, Devil Wears Prada 2, all the other concerts around that as well. So,
all right, Saba Hamidi, a fun look back. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now. Stay with us. The news continues right now.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.